So we're going to ignore the mess behind me. I have been. I got frustrated because I've been getting so many games. I mean, this is the eternal problem when you collect. You get games and you have like this steady flow of new titles that are coming in, and like you try to plan in your collection like spaces that they can fill, but then you also want to play games in your collection. And so you get stuff out to play, and you just wind up getting this mess, and you start getting these stacks where it's like, okay, now I'm frustrated. I want to put everything back. And that's, nobody likes cleaning. Cleaning sucks. But no, I recently, like literally today at lunch, today at lunch I did these. Yesterday evening I did my Switch, and then today at lunch I did my PlayStation 5. But like the PlayStation 4 is still a holy mess. And obviously I'm not panning around and showing you what my Genesis and Sega Master System or the Xbox. Oh my god, the Xbox is driving me crazy. I need to deal with that one. All right, what am I playing? Alright, so let's talk about what I'm playing. I'm still doing Spooktober stuff. I'm kind of regretting starting 2 games so late in Spooktober because I don't know if I'm going to finish them in time. Like, I really wanted to be done with Spooktober by the end of November because you can't have Spooktober into December. You just can't do that. But these 2 games are really long, and I'm not done with them yet, and I'm not sure I'll be done by the end of November. We'll see, but let's talk about them. So the first one is Alan Wake 2. I'm still playing Alan Wake 2. Playing it on PC. Alan Wake 2, man, this is a great game. I did complain a little bit that it had kind of some walking simulator aspects to it. And it definitely does, but it picks up. It's a real slow burn. About 7 to 8 hours into the game, it starts getting much more action-oriented. And it almost starts feeling like the first game, but not quite. And I will admit that that's a good thing, because the first game had this whole, move to a new area, fight a bunch of enemies, move to another area, fight another bunch of enemies. It had this whole loop that is a little tired loop in video games. So I kind of like the different pacing in Alan Wake 2. But, oh man, about 8-9 hours into it, it starts getting, it's always good. I'm not going to say that it was not good. But at about 8 or 9 hours into it, that slow burn builds to this a raging fire. And oh my gosh, it gets so good. You hit this part where there's straight up a musical. There's a fucking musical act in the middle of the game, and it's glorious. It's amazing. And I don't want to spoil it because I want people to play it and enjoy it. But I'm going to include footage of the musical act as I'm talking. Maybe not do a whole lot with it, but I'm going to spoil a little bit because it is so amazing. Anyway, no, I'm really, really loving Alan Wake 2. I do recommend it highly. There are people calling it like Game of the Year. I'm not sure I'd go that far. It's really good. It is undeniably one of the best experiences in modern interactive narrative fiction games. It really is. This is, if you love something like BioShock or any of these other real narrative-heavy games, Alan Wake 2 is undeniably a great example of that. but I'm not sure I would say that it is game of the year. There's been a lot of great games this year. It is definitely up there, but it is, I'm not saying it's the best thing to come out in 2023, but it is extremely good. Extremely good. And I do recommend it highly. I don't know how much more I've got left in the game. I'm really hoping I can wrap it up this weekend, but we'll wait and see. My weekends do have a tendency to be a little bit crazy, a little bit intense with stuff going on. But yeah, Alan Wake 2. It's a lot of fun. All right, so what's the next Spooktober game? Well, the next Spooktober game is still Daymare 1994 Sandcastle, playing it on the PlayStation 5. So, just to recap, Daymare is a smaller little independent studio creation where they're trying to do something like the classic Resident Evils. It really does play like the modern Resident Evil remakes of like Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil 4. It really does play like those, but obviously it doesn't have the same level of polish. It's got, glitches and AI that is a little bit strange, and the dialogue is a little bit hokey, and there's vast sequences where it's like, man, why is there no music? It is just so quiet. There should be something, some sound effects or something happening because it's just quiet. But all of that aside, I'm having a lot of fun. It's a great little game, and I love the first Daymare. I loved the camp. I loved how ridiculous it all is, and this game is just as ridiculous as the first one. It's just as ridiculous as the first one, but it's written better. I mean, it's still written badly, but the first one was written really badly. Like, it was incomprehensible. This one, at least, you can kind of follow the story, even if it's, told in a really hokey, campy way. But yeah, no, I'm really loving it. This is another one that I really want to finish. I will admit, I probably should be done by now, but I have been spending most of my time in Alan Wake 2. I haven't put as much time into Daymare as I should. I think if I were to just sit down and really solidly play it, I could probably finish it pretty quickly. It's my understanding it's like an 8 to 10 hour game, and I've probably put in like 4 or 5, so I'm maybe halfway there, and if I were just, push my way through it, I could finish it, but I'm just enjoying Alan Wake too much. But hopefully I'll finish it. I'm going to try to finish it this weekend, and, maybe give my final thoughts next week. I don't know. We'll see if my... It's almost like, when you go to a buffet, and you go and you're like getting all your food, and you're like, oh man, this looks good. Oh man, this looks good. And you get back to your table, and it's like, holy shit, this is too much food. I cannot possibly finish it. That's kind of what I'm doing right now between Alan Wake 2 and Daymare. It's like my stomach was bigger than my eyes were bigger than my stomach. How's the saying go? I don't know. But the point is, I probably should have started both these games at the same time towards the end of Spooktober, because now I'm regretting it. But no, it's still a great game. Don't get me wrong. This is a me issue, not a problem with the game. But yeah, Daymare, 1994 Sandcastle. Still playing it. Having a lot of fun. I was very thirsty. Still thirsty. All right. That's the Spooktober games. What are the non-Spooktober games? Well, first one, Dark Souls Remastered. Astute viewers will note that technically I started this run of Dark Souls like months ago. It's one where I'm playing it cooperatively with my friends. But the problem is that, of course, my friends are adults like me, and we all have families and lives outside of video games, and we all are in different time zones. So trying to come up with a working schedule where we can all game and play cooperatively a game like Dark Souls is a little bit of a challenge. So it has been probably like 2 or 3 months since we last played Dark Souls together. And I'll admit, when we started this up, I didn't know what we were doing. Like, I had no freaking clue. I couldn't remember what we had done. But fortunately, I do have one of the friends is somebody who is a little bit OCD about specific orders in games. Sometimes he, like in the Dark Souls games, he's got a very specific pattern that he follows when he plays these games that is very different from mine. But fortunately for us, he was able to remember what we had done last and, direct us to our next thing. And our next thing was to basically go into, is it Darkroot Garden? Wherever it is that you fight the big wolf. Is his name Sif? I think his name is Sif. And so we went and fought the big wolf. And we went and did that, and then we went and started down into the New Londo ruins, and we drained all that, and I think that's where we left off. Hopefully, at the time of this recording, we're going to try to play it again tonight. It is Tuesday, just FYI. No, it is not Tuesday. Oh my god, it is Wednesday. Dude, my weeks are insane. It is Wednesday. Anyway, we're going to try to play again tonight. Hopefully, the stars will align and we can continue. But, yeah, Dark Souls. Love that game. All right, so what's the next non-Spooktober game? Well, the next non-Spooktober game is Lego 2K Drive. Played this on PlayStation 5. Now, I got this a while ago, and I played it a little bit, not a lot, with my daughter. We played some little local stuff, and then she spent like hours building Lego cars in the game. But a friend of mine, actually one of the friends that I've been playing Dark Souls with, he got this a while ago, and we finally sat down and started playing it. And so we played it, probably, I think it was like Friday, or was it Saturday night? We probably played it for like 3 or 4 hours. It was a hell of a lot of fun. Just racing, race after race after race, doing all the different modes, trying out virtually everything that I currently have unlocked, which admittedly isn't a lot. I hope that there's more content that I have to unlock because we kind of want more. But we also spent a little bit of time building out cars and doing. We honestly spent probably an hour just trying to figure out the car, how the shape of the vehicle that you're building, the shape of the bricks and how you put it together, how that affects vehicle physics. Like, we spent a good hour experimenting, trying to figure out, what makes the game tick from a physics perspective. Because surprisingly, it does seem to have some semblance of a physics simulation based upon the size, the number of bricks that you use to build a car, and the dimensions of the car that you're building. It's not entirely perfect. I mean, you can do some pretty wild things that like would not be drivable in real life, but it definitely, the more bricks you put on, definitely does affect the drivability of the car, which is really fascinating. Anyway, we spent a few hours. We had a lot of fun. Lego 2K Drive. It's really fun. I mean, 2K is another one of these great big evil corporations that, had recent layoffs. So, fuck them. But that being said, Lego 2K Drive is a really fun game. And I played it. It's a lot of fun. All right, so the last one that I played this week is surprisingly not Vampire Survivors. I know I've been playing a lot of that because I'm playing it on the Switch, but I went and I unlocked everything on the Switch. I finished everything on the Switch, and then I went and played it on Xbox and on a PC. Unlocked all the stuff there. And now I've got everything unlocked, and I don't have anything else to do in Vampire Survivors, so I didn't play it. But what I played in its stead was Halls of Torment. Now, I've talked about this one before. This is another Vampire Survivors clone. This one has kind of a Diablo 2 aesthetic. It's one that I really like. It's honestly, I think it's a criminally overlooked roguelike. It's something I think everybody should probably be aware of because it is a really great game. They recently added some new content to it. They added a new area and a new character. I think I might have mentioned this the last time I played it, that they had added a new character, but I don't believe it's not that I don't believe, I know that I never actually unlocked it and never actually did all this stuff for it. Um, at least until now. I have now gone back and I've unlocked the character and I've completed the new area. There's a lot of new drops though, so I kind of do need to go back and farm some of the new gear because I know I don't have everything. There's also a whole bunch of new traits to be purchased at your character's trait improvement obelisk. I don't know what they call it. It's the thing where you stand and it's like you can boost your different stats. They've added a bunch of new ones there, so I do need to go farm currency so I can go buy them. But I have finished the area and I have unlocked the character, and I love it. I love Halls of Torment. It is just so fun. It's a great game, Halls of Torment. They put out these little, this was several years ago, these little collectible figurines. Here's like these guys right here. It's a little Pac-Man ghost. Anyway, they would be these little blind bags. You'd buy them, and you didn't know what you were going to get. And I'm an idiot, so of course I bought them. This was, again, probably like 5 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was. But the reason I'm mentioning this is I've kind of kept these little cardboard boxes. Not because, they're kind of cool. They're these little arcade cabinets. But I'm not keeping them because they're cool. I'm keeping them because they're great placeholders. So you can't actually see. Everything is kind of covered. But like you can take these things and I'll make a pretend, and we'll make pretend. Let's say you have a gap right there in your shelf. You can take this and put it in there, and boom. Now all of your stuff is upright and not fallen over and held in place. So I keep these little stupid things around as little placeholders so that I can have room to grow in my collection. These three that I have out that are up here, those three, I have them out because they were actually over here in the PlayStation 5 stuff. And as I was putting stuff away, I found I didn't need these three. So they're sitting up here and I don't know what to do with them. I will find a spot. They will be used at some point for placeholders. But anyway, that's it. I got nothing else. See ya.